Welcome to the second act of our 12th annual Visible Ink performance of works by MSK patients. We hope you enjoyed Act 1. If you missed it, you can view it later by using the link on the bottom of the screen. Now, as a reminder, Visible Ink is supported by grants and donations. We hope you'll be inspired to help us continue our efforts to empower patients to tell their stories, flex their creativity, and find their voice. Enjoy the show.
My name is Caitlin Suarez, and my story, 15, is being performed by actors India Jarvis, Grace Diamichis, and Jack Pravda.
My love, there's only you in my life, the only thing that's right.
My first love, your every breath that I take, your every step I make,
And I want to share all my love with you. No one else will do. Your eyes, they tell me how much you care. Oh, yes, you will always be my endless love.
It was late on Sunday night. The day prior, I had been in New Jersey for my cousin's Sweet 16. At the time, I was 15 years old and I had never been kissed before. There I met a boy named George who was the first boy to seriously like me since the 5th grade. We walked into the quiet gardens together while the loud party continued inside, and I sensed he wanted to kiss me, but I wasn't going to let him. I wasn't going to kiss a boy I had just met. I was waiting for someone special. Plus, he was geographically undesirable. He lived in New Jersey, and I lived on Long Island. Instead of a kiss, we exchanged AIM Messenger usernames. That night, I couldn't wait to log on. I was certain George was going to be on it, and I was excited to talk with him. The computer took a long time to load, so I leaned my head on my right hand and suddenly felt a massive lump protruding from my neck. What is this? It felt as if a golf ball was pressed into the palm of my hand. I jumped out of my chair and raced to the bathroom and stared at it wide-eyed.
Mom? Dad?
What's wrong?
There's a lump on my neck.
Does it hurt?
No, there's no pain. I feel perfectly fine.
Caitlin, open the door. Can you breathe okay?
Yes. I didn't even notice it was here until I felt it.
My dad called the local hospital and asked if we needed to come in. The nurse said so long as I felt fine, there was no need to worry. She said to put some ice on it and see a doctor the next day. I laid down on the couch with ice on my neck, staring at the ceiling. My mind was racing as quick as my heart. Is my throat going to close? Was this here all weekend? How did nobody notice this?
What is this?
I saw a doctor the next day, and she referred me for blood work. The doctor listed a series of possible explanations, but I still had no answer to what is this. After the labs and a series of scans, I was referred to an oncologist. George and I continued to talk over AIM and text messaging. I began to think we could create a meaningful relationship, despite the distance and this mysterious lump. At 15, I didn't know what love felt like, but I did know that George was truly special. One night, I called him.
They think I might have cancer, but That's totally ridiculous. I mean, I'm 15 years old. I don't even wear deodorant that has aluminum in it yet. I eat healthy, I run all the time. I mean, surely people like that don't get cancer.
Well, I'm here for you, no matter what happens. I know you can't date until you're 16, but I really care about you. And if I could, I would be your boyfriend. Hello?
Sorry. I know. Even though it stinks that we live far apart, it's really nice to have you to talk to for all this.
Every night after getting into bed, I would try and figure out what this lump could possibly be. Maybe it's cat scratch fever, or a tick disease, or maybe Cupid struck me with an arrow the night of the Sweet 16 and left a mark. Finally, the diagnosis came back. Hodgkin's lymphoma. After hearing the news, my cousin wanted to come visit. My mom hesitated to have company given the burdensome news, but she agreed. To my surprise, George joined them. That evening, everyone was upstairs, making the beds and brushing their teeth. Except George and me. We were standing in my kitchen.
Well, I guess this is good night.
The moment was not at all what I had envisioned. I was surprised by the length of the kiss, and I was anxious that someone could see or hear us. The ting of pain in my neck from the recent biopsy didn't help anything. I turned away, smiled briefly, and quickly went up the stairs before anyone grew suspicious of our absence. My heart and my mind were racing again.
I can't believe that just happened. Oh no. I hope my cheeks aren't red so that no one suspects anything. Okay. Act like nothing happened.
I was 15 years old. I had been diagnosed with cancer. And I had my first kiss.
Hello, my name is Peter Leving. My play, Wallflowers, is being performed by Kevin Craig West and Susan Spain.
Sushi with wasabi. I wonder if that's hot.
Do you mind if I stand here for a minute? Yes, you do mind? No need for conversation. Just say something about the weather. Act like you know me, if you can talk.
No, yes, and yes. No, I don't mind if you stand here. Yes, we can act as though we're having a conversation if you don't want to have a real one.
Oh, you said no, yes, and...
Yes, I can talk. Now, you left that guy in a hurry?
Yeah. We were talking about my company and things got icky.
Icky how?
He asked what I was drinking and I said rosé. And he says I got a big Pinot. And then he tells me it has an excellent mouthfeel and a long finish.
Ick?
Exactly. So why aren't you networking?
Truth? I'm a lawyer. Everyone in here wants to sell me something, but I'm an introvert. Having to be on or around strangers makes me anxious.
Me too.
She's pretty. Probably has a boyfriend. Lucky guy. Anyway, I should stop thinking about finding a date. I'd just screw it up if I did.
That's pickled jalapeno. It's pretty spicy. Wow, he's weird.
Hard to believe he's a lawyer. Maybe he's smart, but he doesn't seem to have common sense, scarfing down such spicy food. I wonder what his girlfriend is like, if he has one. He's probably gay. Why am I always attracted to gay guys like Steve and Ramon? I thought our threesome was going to be amazing, but those two gorgeous naked men only had eyes for each other.
Woo! That was hot.
Not so much. Oh! Why do you keep doing that to yourself?
It hurts so good.
Maybe you'd like to mingle some more?
Not at all. Damn. Maybe you're trying to tell me that you want to mingle some more. I'd only disappoint you anyway. As stupid as it sounds, these are the times I feel sorry for my prostate sitting in a jar on a shelf someplace. Yeah, it was trying to kill me, but it didn't know any better. And I miss what it did. Now when I have sex, it's like invisible fireworks. Women say they don't mind, but I can tell they're a little freaked out by it. I rarely get a second date.
I can tell he thinks I'm pretty. But how would he react seeing my reconstructed breasts? As if breast cancer weren't enough of a bitch. Is any man going to be fooled by tattooed nipples? I may as well have tattooed girls in grass skirts or stop signs on my new boobs, because that's what men are going to see. Sorry. The surgeon said I now had perfect breasts. Perfect like Barbie? I've heard that before. What man would want a woman with Barbie breasts?
Ken.
What?
My name is Ken. I thought I should introduce myself.
Ken, I'm Dot.
I hate to ask after, you know.
Oh, go ahead, ask.
Do you have dinner plans?
No. I thought I'd order room service and watch Law & Order Special Victims Unit marathon.
I was planning to go to a steakhouse bar for dinner, drink until it closed, then drag myself out of bed for a breakfast meeting.
Maybe we could have dinner together.
Yeah. You could tell people you networked with a lawyer.
Or I could treat. I do have an entertainment budget. That is kimchi. It's very spicy.
Maybe I'll pass.
Wise choice.
She was bruised, a broken bow. She felt defeated, seated underneath the cloud. Tattered thread, shaky ground. She's tethered to a demon trying to take her down. Just when it feels so hopeless, she finds her way around. She sings because she knows that when there's darkness, there is light. She sings to try and calm these troubled voices in the night. So sure that hope will find her, 'cause every breath reminds her she has wings. She sings. She sings.
The nurse enters the chemo room and finds me in the corner, slowly taking things out of my bag. "Okay, let's get you into the chair. We have a lot of patients today," she says briskly. I burst into tears. I am a crier in the best of circumstances, and this is clearly not the best of circumstances. The terror and resistance I've felt since starting treatment hasn't abated. That first day, I literally was there double the expected time. I had to be coached into the chemo suite, like a foal being pushed to walk when her legs keep folding in. It took multiple nurses, support staff, a chaplain, and a friend to get me into the room, into the chair, and through that first treatment. On this day, the nurse is looking at me impatiently. I gather myself enough to say quietly, "Please don't rush me. I'm going to get through this. I have a bunch of times before. I just need to take it one step at a time." To my great surprise and relief, her face instantly changes, softens. She offers to go get a warm blanket while I get organized, and a friend joins me. As a dance teacher, I am fascinated by anatomy and kinesiology. I have seen cadavers, seen how muscles work beneath the surface, and what a body looks like from the inside. But at the hospital, I have a visceral response that overcomes any curiosity I might have. Coming into these chemo suites, I often think about the word Seder. This well-recognized name for the ritualistic meals on the first 2 nights of Passover means order in Hebrew. I have my own order for making it through treatment. Every week, I bring a multitude of supplies in my chemo bag. Scarves sent by friends with which to enfold myself, artwork by my nephews, a giant water bottle, headphones, and a printout of meaningful poems. I request the chaplain to come and pray with me if she's available. I put on music that soothes my spirit. All of these various forms of sensory input simultaneously are required. Soft material to surround me, music streaming into my ears, a friend to literally hold my hand. Perhaps most importantly, I sing. This, too, is ritualized. I ask a friend to first read out loud, in English, the psalm that I most love, Psalm 27.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? When evil men come to destroy me, they will stumble and fall. Yes, though a mighty army marches against me, my heart shall know no fear. I am confident that God will save me.
And when I hear verse 4, I sing it in Hebrew. I instruct the nurse to start treatment only after she hears me singing. I tell the nurse that I often cry, and I am likely to exclaim when something hurts. I explain that this is my way of narrating the experience and attempting to release the pain and fear immediately. I also tell her that she should just keep doing what she needs to, even as I am crying and exclaiming and singing. the treatment scares me every time. My rituals get me through, just barely, but just barely is all that's needed. Week after week, I go through my chemo Seder, sanctifying this simultaneously nightmarish and holy experience with tears and song. Week after week, I forge surprisingly deep and heartfelt connections with the nurses who honor my process and offer me their care, even when at times they too have a moment that overwhelms them. Together, we are forging a path towards survival and humanity. It is a path of grace.
She sings because she knows that where there's darkness, there is light. She sings to try and calm these troubled voices in the night. So sure that hope will find her, 'cause every breath reminds her she has wings. She sings. She sings.
My name is Kathleen Schumar, and my story, Cafe Mocha Moment, is being performed by Catherine Murphy.
The gleaming coffee machine in the Rockefeller Outpatient Pavilion waiting room stared at me as I chanted the choices before me. Cafe Americano, Americano with milk, espresso, cappuccino, cafe mocha, hot chocolate. I caught myself. Count to 5. Try to focus, girl. What is this? Kindergarten? You're coming unglued. You need a good, strong coffee. Just brew it. I couldn't. At home, my morning coffee ritual had once been calm and methodical. Measure the Sumatra beans, grind them in the cups, toss the grains into a brown filter, pour purified water through my single cup Melita. Top the brew with a dash of Ceylon cinnamon, ginger shavings, a sprinkle of cocoa powder, or a drop of vanilla extract. Then, a local hospital diagnosed my husband Kevin with pancreatic cancer. They implanted a stent to ease his symptoms. I asked the doctors, "What's your plan?" They didn't have one. I was frightened. A former medical reporter, I became the sleuth with a deadline. I researched the disease, treatments, trials, and their outcomes into the wee hours of the morning. I learned the 1-year relative survival rate was 20%. More if you caught it early and a surgeon could perform a Whipple procedure. In the chaos, my coffee ritual deteriorated. I began sprinkling grains from a jar of Nescafe into unheated water. A morning trick of the coffee-loving war correspondents living rough on the battlefield. I'd become Alice, tumbling down a rabbit hole I only hoped to climb out of with desperate actions. Methodical coffee brewing was not one of them. The best pancreatic cancer outcomes are achieved at major medical centers with extensive experience. I chose a high-volume surgeon at Memorial Sloan Kettering. I pled with his office, "We can be there within 3 hours if you get a cancellation." There was a mad dash to collect Kevin's medical records and scans, put together the Package requested. An overworked but kind pathology tech made a specimen slide and sent it on immediately. A patient cancelled. Our appointment was booked. 3 days later, Kevin and I rose at 5 and hustled into our car and made the white-knuckle drive in the dark to Manhattan. As my husband sat in the waiting room to meet the surgeon, I stood in front of the aforementioned coffee machine. And that's when a lovely man in a blue coat approached me.
Want a cup? I recommend the Cafe Mocha. It's a perfect combination. The coffee boosts brain blood flow. The cocoa tames the jitters. I'll make you a cup.
He extracted a paper cup from the stack, positioned it on the center mark, and pushed the lighted button. In a trance, I watched the white digital time bar dissipate. A stream of hot water, followed by chocolate coffee liquid and a milky white froth, fell into the cup. The sweet, silky foam massaged my lips. The aroma made me breathe deeply. Once, then twice. My mind grew sharp, my vision clear, my nerves calmed.
I'm a volunteer. I tend the coffee machines a couple of days a week. I was treated here over 20 years ago.
His telling me that filled me with hope. Just then, an assistant called out my husband's name. Kevin and I locked eyes. As he was trotting behind her towards the inner exam room, I told him I'd be right in. I was at the rim of the rabbit hole. I could sense a treatment plan was in sight. Kevin would have a successful Whipple procedure. He would recover. The cancer would return. He'd undergo several courses of chemotherapy. Over 2.5 years, we'd visit the Rockefeller Outpatient Pavilion many times. Each time, the first thing I'd do was meet up with one of the gleaming coffee machines and brew myself a Cafe Mocha.
In 2019, through a partnership with New York City's Health Plus Hospitals and the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, Visible Inc. expanded into select city hospitals. At Kohler Long-Term Care Facility on Roosevelt Island, we worked with Open Doors, a creative community of Black and brown artists and activists dedicated to gun violence prevention and spreading their message of healing and resilience. In this next segment, we highlight a poem written by a Visible Inc. mentor, which was filmed by Open Doors participant Jay Molina, and we're proud to present 3 works written by Open Doors reality poets through their alliance with Visible Inc. Enjoy.
Beautiful. You are radiant. Smiles of love, eyes full of unspoken knowing. Spirit conquers all. In a cramped hospital room, you assemble. A generous circle, serene, buoyant, chairs raised like thrones. Deftly you weave the powerful red rope of music, poetry, art, through the tangled fabric of life. Past, present, and future, all in silent attendance. The door opens. You invite me in. I take my place in the circle, listening.
Every day I think about how I lay on that cold pavement, bleeding to death, trying not to see that hospital basement, trying my best not to go towards that light. Don't want to die tonight. This is my hardest fight. The last thing that I heard was the shot of that gun as I lay on the floor watching the people around me run. At first I thought that I was just shot in my head and I would lay there bleeding up until I was dead. This isn't the first time that I felt how a shell burned. I was gripped up that night, but that pussy shot me while I had my head turned. He knew it would be over if I had a chance to grab my gun, but that motherfucker waited until I had my head turned and then he shot me in front of my own son. Now I'm on the floor fighting for my life. Laying on the floor, all I can think about is my kids and my wife. I can hear my friends screaming at the ambulance. Hurry up and get them off the floor. While I'm trying to stay away from the light that's coming from a door, I heard an undercover say, "He's dead. Just put him under a sheet." All I could do was lay there and stare at his feet. Please, God, help me. I don't want to die tonight. I've been through many battles, but this is my hardest fight.
My name's Roy. If I could, I'd talk to myself as a kid, tell him not to do like I did. I started smoking marijuana at 10, hard drugs at 12. Come from a family of alcoholics. My first bad experience with alcohol was at age 2. My father gave me a sip of beer and asked me to carry a glass to the sink. I tripped and the glass broke. Had to have stitches and my left hand was permanently damaged. I was born in Harlem. My mother worked as an LPN from 3 to 10. Dad had a 5th grade education, but he managed to complete his GED, became captain of fire safety at the Manhattan State Hospital on Ward's Island. When I was 12, my parents bought a house in East Elmhurst, Queens, where the well-to-do blacks lived. My school was predominantly white. I couldn't keep up with the different style of learning, so at age 13, I got involved with gangs. By age 15, I was ghetto rich, selling drugs, armed robbery. I had more money than I knew what to do with. Developed a serious dealer's habit of snorting heroin. Once I went to look for drugs after a blizzard. I would disappear for days. At 17, I was arrested for the first time. Then I went AWOL, committed armed robbery, which put a $100,000 price on my head. When I turned myself in, a sergeant with 35 years in the service predicted that 30 days after you leave, you'll be back in jail. He was right. I committed armed robbery again. They sent me to Queens House of Detention. By 1980, I had been in prison for 3.5 years and was clean. Then I was at Merrill School for Computers, 1 year sober. But you know what they say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Worst company is yourself. In 1990, I was shot. Bullets shattered my bone instead of killing me. After that, I moved down to Georgia and opened up a business with the richest black guy in the area. He owned a lot of real estate and businesses, multi-millionaire. I started using again. My house became a crack den. I was given a diagnosis of depression and anxiety, along with drug addiction. In 2001, my family cut me off. I only have one nephew that still keeps in touch. The insanity of drug addiction led to bad decisions. AA tells you, clarity comes with abstinence. I've been in so many treatment programs, I could be the director. Recently, at the request of the police station, we at Open Doors spoke at projects in East Harlem. People were afraid to come out of their apartments because of shootings and muggings, people selling, doing drugs on the stairwell. That used to be me. I tell them, do not follow other people. By all means possible, instill this in your children. I used to be part of the problem. Now, I try to be part of the solution.
I know how it is to hear them shots fired. Don't know if I'm gonna live or die. Hit in the neck, I ain't even feel the burn. Paralyzed instantly. Praying to God, please don't take me now. I got a little girl to look after, and I'm not trying to look after her from the sky. Everything I done bad in life flashing before me. Karma on one side saying, I got your ass now. God on the other side saying, remember that voice that was in the back of your head telling you to stop selling those drugs? That the ones you call friends ain't gonna be there when you need them? That if you keep living by the gun, you really gonna... Yeah, that was me. But now you lay here, body limp, begging God, please, man, please. But just like they say, I'm a forgiving God. So sit in this chair, my son, and learn your lessons. And let every single one of them know that life is a blessing. And never, ever, 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 ever take life for granted.
My name is Susan Jeremy. My story, I'll Take You to Your Seat, Then Hide, is being performed by actress Zoe Anastasiou.
I'm gonna be a famous actress, and I'm doing everything I should to make that happen. I study acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts every morning to early afternoon. Then I roller skate up Madison Avenue to Radio City Music Hall, where I'm an usher from 2 to 10 p.m. There are about 50 of us ushers. We wear tan blazers with matching tan skirts or pants. We resemble curtains. We start each shift with a meeting on the great staircase under the gold-plated ceiling with the largest chandelier in the world. There we get our assignments for the evening. Hector, my co-worker, nicknames me Clown because while we wait for the meeting to start, I imitate people working there. I have a built-in audience.
Yo, Clown! You in the first mez? Yeah!
First mez is a shift assignment. There are many assignments you can have at Radio City. You can seat people in the orchestra or mezzanines. The orchestra is exciting because you get to see the show close up and seat celebrities. I got to seat Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone. Much to my surprise, I was taller than him, and he was wearing shoes with a heel. Oh, and I also got to see Carol Burnett. When I took her to her chair, I told her she was my idol and that I was gonna be a comedian just like her. And she said to me, "Oh, I feel you're gonna make it, dear." Wow! The best spot to be scheduled is the third mezzanine because you were so high up away from all management that you could be. And we. After the show started, you could hide and sneak a beer you scored off the bartender you flirted with. You could disappear in the ladies' lounge, a huge Art Deco restroom, complete with little phone rooms. There are also back staircases that hardly anyone used. You could go missing for hours. The worst assignment at Radio City was the lobby. Basically, you are the information for hundreds of tourists wandering in asking the same questions. You had to stand your whole shift with a half-hour lunch and a 15-minute break. It sucked. So, now it's December, and it's the Christmas show. There are 5 shows a day instead of 2. And of course, I'm assigned the lobby. It's packed and freezing. The doors are constantly open and it smells like roasted chestnuts. I am positioned at the perch, the spot in front of the box office where you direct the line and answer the questions. The questions are the same and they are being shouted at me from all directions.
Very good. How much is the ticket?
Is there an intermission?
Excuse me. How long is the show?
Where is toilet?
My 15-minute break is late because someone called in sick. My break is when I have a snack to keep from being hypoglycemic. I sound like a robot. $75. No intermission. 90 minutes. Toilets to the left. My head is pounding. And I'm being backed into a corner by the tourists.
How much is ticket?
Is possible toilet? There's no intermission.
I hope there's no foul language in the show.
Can we bring in outside food?
Can I video record the manger scene?
Does the baby have to pay? Surely the baby doesn't have to pay. Does the baby have to pay?
Then it happened. I snapped. Yes! Lady! You have to pay for the baby! At that, my supervisor appears.
Susan, it's time for your break. I think you need to leave the floor. Now.
I did. For the next 3 days, I waited to get fired. I certainly deserved it. On the 4th day, I couldn't handle it anymore, so I quit. 1 week later, I tried to get my job back. They told me it was too late. I took it as a sign that it was time to do something different. So, I answered an ad from the back of the Village Voice for the psychic hotline. I called.
So how many years have you been a psychic? I mean, you are a psychic, right?
I took a long pause, like I was channeling the mystics. And I said, no, but I am an actress. Well, it's a good thing they didn't hire me. I wouldn't have predicted that.
And that
that's all, folks.
Hi, my name is David Maklowitz, and my story, Warrior, is being performed by actor Devin Elaw.
Introducing yourself to another cancer patient is often like playing rock, paper, scissors. Breast cancer beats skin cancer, brain cancer beats breast cancer, stage 2 beats stage 1. I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And thanks to Steve Jobs and Alex Trebek, that now beats them all. In books, TV, and movies, it's now shorthand for describing a character as doomed. I'm a grown man, a Yale Law School graduate, and was a tough corporate executive. But when I was diagnosed, my first instinct was to crawl into my mommy's lap and cry. But Mom was old, losing her memory, and deaf, so I didn't tell her. Especially since I knew how the conversation would go.
I have pancreatic cancer.
You have pancake batter?
Pancreatic cancer!
Oh, don't eat too many pancakes. They can cause cancer.
Before she died, Mom would frequently tell me,
"You're very lucky. You've got long life genes."
there are some friends I wish I hadn't told about my diagnosis. They would email me articles which would tell me nothing except how likely I am to die. I would respond, "Thanks. It never occurred to me during my 60 chemo treatments that this could be serious." Another friend bombarded me with YouTube videos.
David, you need to see this new video about herbal powders which cure cancer.
Follow the advice of the world's leading pancreatic cancer team, or a video by a scammer. That's a tough choice.
Should I send your doctors the video?
Many friends I haven't told, simply because I enjoy interacting with some people who do not ask me how I am doing. I often led large corporate teams successfully through crises, but I was having trouble figuring out how to lead myself through this. Many years ago, I became deathly afraid of flying. Now, I only have enough energy to be deathly afraid of, well, death. I wanted to give my wife some recent happy memories. So, we took 3 long trips to Europe. I had to pack so many pills that I thought the TSA would arrest me for drug dealing. We retraced our honeymoon in Italy, saw Stonehenge in England, and broke every MSK guideline about food and wine in France. I always returned home with more pounds and less pills. Especially Viagra. On our last trip, which I hope was not our last trip, I found my inspiration on Omaha Beach, behind the wall where the terrified survivors of the massacre of the first wave hid. I sat behind it, a terrified survivor of my first year of cancer. Although my enemy is different, I swore to match the soldiers who came out from behind the wall and fought their way to victory. I took some stones from the wall. I touch them every day. I am not a cancer patient. I am a warrior. I have landed on my personal Omaha beach, and I've already won my first battle. I outlasted the Trump presidency. I will now fight for having more time with my family and friends. And I will fight despair, self-pity, or letting cancer dominate my life, despite the statistics against my being a survivor, and instead, fight to be one. I will fight denials of insurance coverage, even if they keep saying no. I will fight even though chemo makes me vomit repeatedly. I will fight even if I receive dire lab reports or scans. I will fight even if surgery leaves me weak, scarred, and scared. I will fight in the infusion rooms. I will fight while hoping for new therapies or medications. I will fight even though I have lost feeling in my hands and feet. I will fight in clinical trials or wheelchairs or hospital beds. I may lose, but I will never surrender.
I don't wanna spend my time in a hospital room or bed, running tests, choosing trials for a problem they someday might solve. I don't want to be treated like I'm made of glass or already half dead. These aren't the things around which my life should revolve. I wanna run, I wanna jump into oceans and hike to the peaks of mountains. I wanna kiss in the rain, watch the sunrise, travel the world, soaking up everything, having adventures, that's the whole plan. I wanna live while I still can. I don't wanna waste my time feeling sorry for myself, fighting what I can't change and distracted by all the wrong things. I don't want to be seen as some sick person, quarantined, put on the shelf. Why should I focus on fear of what my future brings? I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna laugh and be strong and do things that make me happy. I'm gonna tease you and drag you to taco trucks, take you on dates, putting my focus on people I love, that's the whole plan. I'm gonna live all that I can. I don't wanna be sad, I don't wanna be angry, I don't wanna be pitied, I don't want to feel cheated, I don't want to waste a moment, I don't want a single regret. Look at me, I'm not gone yet, so I'm gonna hold you, I'm gonna be with you, that's the whole plan. Let's just live. Let's just be you and me while we still